After all these years of informing plumbers of the lack of royalty in Imperial fortifications and being the choice of noobs in sprite-swapping 8-bit sequels, for the first time in 29 years, everyone's favourite cordycept is finally getting his own video game, with the puzzle platformer Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. True to Nintendo's excellent storytelling narrative, the game places you in the afro hat of the titular Toad, who is on a treasure tracking adventure with Toadette when the huge bird Wingo takes his golden star. But despite them being rather plentiful throughout the game, Toadette holds onto it for dear life, and rather than letting go like a normal, mushroom, she's whisked off with the bird, probably to be made into some sort of mushroom carbonara. So it's up to Toad to go find her, but not before he loots every other piece of treasure in the game on his way. Fungal chivalry at its finest. For those of you who have not played the Captain Toad levels in Super Mario 3D World, or Super Mario 3D World in general come to think of it, the Captain Toad levels were essentially a platform puzzle game where you would see new areas to explore by rotating the camera around the entire level. Of course it's not as basic as that. There's also elements like wheels and buttons that rotate parts of the level around to create new paths, using the scenery to your advantage to get rid of some pesky enemies, as Toad himself can't attack or jump, and there's even some stealth elements where you have to avoid shy guys, etc. And these are all mixed up into one whole puzzle you need to solve every level. Captain Toad is rather devious too. What initially appears to be a simple puzzler to appeal to kiddies pulls in some real hair-pulling segments in later levels. Real old-school hardcore Nintendo difficulty too. It also borrows a lot of level designs from other Mario games, such as Mario, well obviously, Luigi's Mansion, and even Zelda Skyward Sword's awesome desert levels get a nod in the game. If there's anything really to fault with Captain Toad, it's Nintendo's insistence on taking advantage of all of the Wii gamepad's features. Namely stuff like using it to aim in the rail segments, blowing into the mic to move fans, and swiping with your finger to rotate cogs, etc. Now on paper and on something like a 3DS, these would work, but on the Wii U, having to constantly glance up and down from the screen to perform these features has gotten me killed a number of times in the game. Use them in segments where there's no element of danger, or where you can take your time, yeah, but nowhere else, Nintendo. But overall, you could tell that the Captain Toad levels were inserted into Super Mario 3D World as a testing ground for a new concept, kinda like Portal was in the orange box, and I'm glad that they did. Nintendo's usual foray into puzzle games usually involves falling blocks, eggs, or drugs, so to try something completely different to what anyone else is doing, at least anyone who is not using a mobile device, was a great idea. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is great fun to play, gets your head wrapped around a lot of the later puzzles, yet doesn't venture too far away from the Mario style of platforming to make it feel alien. It's one of the best and most original games to come out from the Big N in years. So it's well worth tracking down this treasure. Not so much the rescuing of fungal infected mutants though. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button below and be first to see future gaming videos and reviews such as this. And why not check out some of my other recent reviews below? But thanks for watching, peoples!